If today and this is your first time tuning into our podcast, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, click the like, drop your comments in the comment section. To all the subscribers, thank you and welcome back for staying active with us, and grab your popcorn. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Hassan.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Do you think that 2026 is around the corner? Do you think more people are going to come to Dubai?
Yeah, I believe so because, Dubai, let's say, Dubai specifically is focused on drawing more people. I'm currently working on something.
You can, if you want to share, please.
Yeah, actually, maybe, you never know who the viewers, who's watching, that may want to be a part of it or assist or, or enhance the plan. We're working on setting up heavyweight boxing matches, like professional boxers, males and females, So
just for professionals?
I mean, the matches we're going to do, but of course, from that, it's going to open, it could make Dubai a place of where boxers want to come, because with the professional competitions that we're having, we're going to have a lot of boxers coming in and out. Okay, so having a lot of boxers coming in and out, it means that people can come and learn boxing here. We'll have gyms and everything.
So you're going to have a gym and you're going to have like a boxing school for people to learn? Yeah,
boxing, a boxing gym. And but the plan is to do big matches here, And what's that going to do? Because major events are mostly the bait to bring in wealthy people. When you bring in wealthy people, once they're happy with the event, you can sit in a suite or in backstage somewhere and talk about deals and investments that you can make in the country. That's one of the main reasons why boxing and a lot of major events have a lot of VIPs there.
Yes.
What you see is the entertainment, but the deals that are made, most people never see those, So that's my goal. That's my aim, is to create these major events here and see what can be done behind the scenes. A lot of people want to be seen. I've been doing events for a very long time. A lot of people, they want to look cool and show that, I did an event, I took a picture. So you will never see me take a picture. I mean, I would, but I probably wouldn't post it, or it's not my way of introducing myself or something that I like to do, because, it's a combination of pride and I don't know if I should call it self-respect and all that. I don't want to look like I'm a fan or a groupie. They call it a groupie.
Yeah.
So because when you have all of that, anybody can see a celebrity on the street or in an event and take a picture with it. That doesn't mean that you have relevance in you. So for me, I'm like, my relevance is me, not who I take a picture with.
Yeah, but most of the things I've seen you post are, most of the videos I've seen you post actually brings value to the people. These are the kind of thing I always look into. I mean, I'm a creative person. I'm a fashion designer, also doing mosting and podcasting. So each time I go on social media, I always look for something that's going to give me more impact, knowledge, and not just feed my eyes and...
or just laugh all the time. Funny, seeing funny videos is good, but what have you learned? You woke up today. Did you sleep learning anything new? That's what I think you're saying. You like to sleep learning more, knowing that you knew more.
I learned something that, okay, now I'm going to imply this into what I'm doing. Those are the kind of things, something that will make my mindset shift from negative to positive. These are the kind of thing I always look toward, because I don't like bad news. I don't like to watch any bad news. If I wake up in the morning and the first thing I see, or I see someone close to me checking Instagram, like, why are you on Instagram in the morning? You should first give gratitude and think of what you can do, because by the time you feed your eyes on social media, then this messes up with your mind. It's because it's either for good or for bad, to be honest. So I always tell people, always look for something that adds meaning to you.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You mentioned two things. You don't want to watch bad news, and you always focus on the negative.
No, on the positive.
I'm sorry, my bad. On the positive.
Yeah.
Now let me depending on how sharp you are, this might not confuse you. But what if I tell you that sometimes watching the bad and and seeing the negative can also give you a much better understanding if you look at it differently. I'm going to give you a small example.
Okay.
Ice cream is cold, right?
Yes.
But what temperature do you put it in to get cold?
I don't take ice cream.
No, but but people love ice cream in general.
People take ice cream, but I never eat sugar.
You never eat sugar. But my point is, if there was no negative temperature, ice cream wouldn't exist, and a lot of people love ice cream, especially in summer.
Do you like ice cream?
I'm not also a sweet person, but the point is, the idea behind it. Like I like to use tea and ice cream. Tea, you have to put it in very high temperature, which is a positive number, to get hot, something hot. Mm-hmm. And ice cream is the complete opposite. And people appreciate this and appreciate that, but you have to understand it.
Yeah.
So for me in life is, in order to appreciate the good, you need to have the bad. In order to be positive, negative needs to exist. So sometimes when you understand this, you would look at, like for me, I had a conversation with a friend of mine just a few days ago, less than a week ago. And the biggest conspiracy theories of them all, Freemasons, Illuminati, it was a quick conversation. He's like, oh, but they're doing this. I'm like, yeah, I get it. But I don't necessarily have an issue with any of them, mm-hmm. because I understand in order for you to have your ground as being against that, mm-hmm. they need to exist. Otherwise, you wouldn't have nothing to stand on.
Well, that is true. That is true. But, if you've had a lot of negative experience in your life, you come out from this negative perspective, you wouldn't want to.
But that's where wisdom comes from.
Yeah, but, from my experience, because I would literally say my knowledge grew in this city, to be mm-hmm. honest. This city changed me to be who I am today, and I'm very proud of it. And most of it were the hardship. Yeah.
Now, who would you be without it? You wouldn't be as wise, and you wouldn't have learned, right?
Yes.
See? If you were born in a castle, a mansion, everything was presented to you, you would have missed out on a lot of things in life.
Yeah,
especially on a spiritual level. So you see? So wisdom, even medicine. Most medicine don't taste good.
I don't
Most
like
healthy
medicine.
Food don't taste good.
Yeah.
So you can also look at that as something negative, because all the positive food that tastes good, it doesn't. So that's what I mean by, if you look at negativity in a different way, that, oh, because I've been through all these, mm-hmm. it made me wiser. If I didn't go through that, I probably, wouldn't be as wise as I am today. So sometimes in order to look at that, it depends on how you look at it and how you perceive it. Like if there was no light, there wouldn't be any dark. If there was no dark, there wouldn't be any light.
Yeah, true.
If you want to sleep, would you rather sleep in a dark place or in a light place?
With a little bit of light.
Yeah, but preferably darker than light.
Yes.
So you see, a lot of people associate darkness with evil and light with positivity and growth and enlightenment and all that. But when you sleep in the dark, where it's mostly dark, that's when you are at your peaceful moment.
Yes.
That's when it's the most peaceful time of your life.
True.
Of your moment is
True.
When you're in the dark. So when you think about it like that, so negative, if you didn't go through the negativity, you wouldn't be this positive person today. And if you even look at the symbol, I don't know if the ancient people did it on purpose, but plus is 2 lines across each other. Minus is just 1 line. So after every 1 line, if you put the other line across it, now you have 2, you went through 2 negatives, mm-hmm. but you put them across to each other. Now they're a positive, which is a plus. So, all the hardship is what makes you wiser. And it all depends on how you deal with it and how you take it. You can still drown in that negative moment if you haven't learned and haven't matured from it.
Yeah.
But if you always had it all good, if you face something bad, you won't know how to handle it.
True. And speaking of, you've been a support to Runway, correct?
Yeah.
You were a PR consultant to the Runway.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what experience you had? What stood out to you the most
Okay, see, I'm
in
going
that
to be,
platform?
yeah, okay. So what happened is I was involved in a beauty pageant. Okay, that was in 2002. And
As a model or
no,
as?
I was like a supporter. Okay, it was something that was the idea was to do something for modesty, like because they always make beauty pageant for, you know, women. Basically, it's more westernized. So we said, let's do something since it's done in the Middle East. Let's do a modest beauty pageant.
Yeah.
Like, women dressed up in their cultural. It could be Chinese, it could be Arabic, it could be African, but something that identifies with their people and more modest than coming out with a bikini. I don't have anything against that, but it doesn't really connect with this culture here.
Yes.
So I said, we'll do that. And I was in one of the moments when the participants were presenting, like when you watch American Idol, they introduce themselves, I'm so and so, and then they do their audition. So I was picked as a judge in one of those auditions. And Madupe was the speaker.
That's how you guys met?
That's how we met. Okay, so she saw the kind of questions I was asking and how I was conducting myself. Okay. She spoke, I can't remember who connected us, but then that's when she wanted me to be one of the judges in her Runway Dubai in 2022. And that's how we met.
That's how we started. Okay.
Yeah, and that's how we met. And then the more we spoke, the more she saw that, okay, you know what, he can add value to what we're doing because I'm an artist. I'm very open-minded, very understanding, very observant, very creative. So she said, you know what, I want to work with him. And she's the one who actually pushed me for the podcast. You see all those podcasts that she introduced me to that guy.
So, but wait first, before we go to that guy, what's the impression you have? I mean, for the event for 2025, because it's a little bit different compared to every show that I've seen on TV. What's your impression for the event? Overall energy.
I think it looked more alive, to be honest. I missed the last year one, but this one, it looked more alive. Even Madupe, she looked more alive.
Yeah.
She looked more alive and more, confident and comfortable. Even when we were just speaking about this yesterday. I'm like, you were very comfortable in front of the mic before introducing the cancer survivors. The way you gave a very good speech. You didn't miss a heartbeat, and you looked like you had it all together more than the previous ones. Because the previous one, she wasn't talking that much. But this last one, she was very out there talking outspoken. And very comfortable. She even, I was I was kind of shocked that she was that comfortable. And I was like, okay, so she's the source of this whole event. Because she was in that energy, everything else kind of came, reflected balanced out on her.
Yeah.
Because she had it all together and she was more confident. Everybody else under that was also, confident, and it was more alive. And it's probably, I think it's going to be the most memorable of at least the ones that I've been. I don't know about the other ones, but I think this one is going to be, unless she picks which is always the plan, to make it bigger and better.
Yes.
Like have much larger crowds and all that. But for me, from the ones I've been through, the previous three, if I had to pick from the three, because I missed one and we've known each other for 4 years, I would pick the last one is the one that I would probably remember the most because of the energy that was there. So the impression was, the models looked more confident. I've even noticed that it was, backstage sometimes there's always some chaos. It was less chaotic, people were not as nervous, people were there, not, more, it's like they were more comfortable because it became part of their routine to come in November to Runway Dubai. Before, they were more like guests and trying to see what this is all about, trying to learn. But at this point now, it's like Runway Dubai is a place where people who are into fashion should or would want to be.
Yeah.
If they haven't been there.
And it's always more new designers coming up every year.
Every year, yeah. You know, so it's fun, it's creative, and it's, you know, basically removing people out of their daily routine. It's something like, you know what, I want to be. Every time I get people texting me like, oh, can you get me a VIP type passes? You know, I want to go. You know, they remind me like, don't forget me for this event and all that. Yeah. So yeah.
So now I want to talk about supporting artists and relationship.
Yeah.
You often speak about relationship and human connections. How do healthy relationship influence creativity and personal growth for you?
Yeah. Well, see, healthy relationship. If you're distracted with back to negativity, your creativity, if it depends on how attached you are to your art form, it's going to reflect on what you've been through. That's why we have these dark paintings and dark songs and people who write very sad stories.
Yeah.
You know, but if you, let's talk about artists, music artists. Every time when an artist who came from hardship makes an album, their song is all about struggle and pain and sadness. But once they make the money, talking about bottles and houses and mansions and cars and money. But again, why negative is useful. Their art form and the connection with people fades away. If you notice, every artist, their first album is always the major one.
Yes.
And once they continue afterwards, because they're not as ambitious and not as hungry and not as real as they were,
it starts to drop.
They drift away. They looked at, a lot of people say, oh, they sold out. They sold out. Why? Because they're not going through that negative phase. So, but in relationships, especially as artists, and I believe everybody in this world has a specific gift. For me, I look at being a genius in math.
That's what I was I wanted to ask, you know, what qualities do you look? Because
for me,
you support artists.
For me, the first thing is confidence. If you're not confident, you're not going to be this great artist, you know? And your upbringing and surroundings is going to determine on how confident you are as a person.
When you talk about artists, because for the audience, what kind of artist? A musician, a painter, a designer, any kind of artist?
Yeah, because like I said, for me, being a genius in math is also an art form, because not everybody can do what you do because you're a genius in that specific thing. So for me, it's the proper support. I would advise all parents to focus on their children and what they love to do and build them from that. Let the education enhance what they're born to be.
Yeah.
Don't remove them from what they love and force them to do something that they don't want to do.
But still, they're going to end up doing that thing, what they want to do.
Yeah, whether in a good way or in a bad way. But if you build their education based on what they're born to be, they're going to thrive. I mean, imagine if we had 1,000 or 1,000,000 Einsteins or Nikola Teslas or Elon Musk's. You know, people may not like him politically, but he still did something great with SpaceX and all that. Even though maybe as an individual, people may have different opinions. I don't know him personally, so I can't judge. But he has left a legacy that nobody can touch. Einstein left a legacy that nobody can touch. Nikola Tesla, going back to the prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, these are people you'll never forget.
Yes.
Abraham, you know, Napoleon, Hitler. They left legacies, even though some of them are not good ones.
Even till today, I still watch Hitler sometimes when I just tune in just to, you know, educate.
Yeah. Does anybody know who was the king of France or the president of France in that time? No. Or, you know, does anybody know who was the president of China? No, they know Hitler and Churchill because he was against him. So they built legacies, whether it's good or bad. They left a mark that we're talking about them up to this day. And for me, I feel like if you follow your art, that's what you're going to be. Let's talk about music. Tupac. I grew up in that generation. He died when he was 25. We have people that are 100 years old. you don't even know they exist. He died almost
And
30
people
years ago.
still, I still listen to his music, especially at the gym.
Yeah, you can have your opinion about him. Oh, he was this, he was that, but he still left something that you never left.
Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah, but for me, I mean, Biggie was a rapper. If we're going to talk about music, he was a rapper that was attached to the conflict that he had with Tupac that made him bigger in a way. Not to take anything away from him, but for me, as a young man growing up, I've heard a lot of rappers that could rap similar to Biggie, even if some may argue that he was better than the rest. I had other preferences. Like if I'm talking about hip hop, I preferred Nas over Biggie, always. You know, I don't know if you know Nas.
Yes.
So I preferred him over Biggie. You know, I prefer other rappers over Biggie, but I still appreciated him. I still had music in my playlist. But for me, Tupac touched people. That's what made him stand out. You know, like when it's like people always want to add Biggie into the conversation of Tupac, but they were completely different individuals. They had different style. You can't even compare. It's like comparing an R&B singer to a soul singer. You know, this is R&B and this is soul. Soul has feeling and emotion.
True.
You know, R&B singers could be more talented than the soul singers.
I don't even remember a lot of R&B singers.
You see, but you remember the ones that touched you.
Yes.
You remember, let's say, Beyonce has soul songs that, especially as women, you can relate to because she's talking to what most women go through. You know, some songs for us is just a woman singing as men. Some songs for you that Tupac made is just a song, oh, he's just running his mouth. But for me, it's like, as a man, as a young man, I can understand. And
in my family, we listen to Tupac a lot.
You know, so soul, like, for example, let's say we had, I don't want to disrespect any artist, so I don't want to mention any name, but we had songs that there were artists that are just, oh, actually, I can talk about this guy because I never liked him. P. Diddy. Okay. So we talk about P. Diddy. P. Diddy, I've never related to him because his music was always about dancing. You know, it looked fake to me. I'm like, it just didn't sit well with me. And I don't know, just the whole energy. And now I'm like, see, I knew there was something about this guy, you know? And now rumors are coming out that he was stealing productions. He wasn't the main producer.
A lot of things are coming up against him right now, actually.
Yeah. You know, he wasn't the main producer. He was conning people, you know? So when we talk about art, are you an artificial artist or are you a real one? You know, because at some point things will catch up. But then again, when you have the fear factor, like P. Diddy was so powerful, people were afraid to speak up. But guess what? Back to Tupac, he actually exposed this man in the 90s, right before he died. His last album was him in the back of his cover wearing a mini dress. Because he already knew that this guy was up doing whatever, you know, whatever they say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he tried to expose something about this guy. And, you know, and he said certain things but people thought that he was just being jealous or hateful or whatever because he had a grudge over him because he got shot and, you know, so, but he knows that this guy was conning people, was stealing from people. He would sacrifice people. Like if you look at, this is not about hip hop, but because this is what's on the news now. If you look at the people that were surrounded by this man, Biggie passed away. His mom didn't get too much money. There was another artist that was called Black Rob. He died broke. Didn't give him his money. And there's another one before Biggie called Craig Mack. He died broke. Mace should have gotten way more money because Mace is the one that put Bad Boy on the map when Biggie died. He didn't get his money. You know, there's a lot of, and there's another group called the Locks. They also had issues with Biggie about money. Lil' Kim also had issues with money with Diddy. Diddy boxed out his partner. So you see, so that kills art. And when he was this hip hop music mogul, a lot of art disappeared because there were the wrong people ruling. And then we came into the age of producers trying to get all the shine and they didn't have the art and they kind of killed the art. You know, so So when it comes to art, like we need artists to lead record labels. We need artists to lead museums, art museums. We need artists to lead. We need athletes to coach football teams. We need ex-retired boxers to train boxers. We need retired players. We need these people to interact with the upcoming generations so they can keep that talent alive. Whether it's a sport, it's a song, or an album, or music, or music, or actors. We need real actors to interact, to direct. Because you can be a director, but you've never been an actor. You're going to miss out on that experience of acting. So when you tell me how I should act, it's kind of like you've never been an actor, but you're telling me how to act. Some people have that talent, but if you have both, and like if you're an actor, then you become a director, it becomes better because you know both sides now. So we need more of these artists to be protected. Otherwise, we're just going to end up being like robots.
Yeah, true.
We're just going to end up being like robots. So that's why another reason why I support Runway Dubai is Madupa is working with universities, young children.
Yes. Empowering people.
Yeah, we need these young children to discover their art forms at some point. It's kind of too late in university because they should start ever since you were young, but it's never too late for the long run. I remember I was also telling this to the universities. I was with Madupa yesterday. I was like, I went to the Ministry of Education.
Okay, Ministry of Education.
I think about more than 20 years ago when I just graduated. And I had this dream of opening up a school for arts. And one of the top guys there said, tell me, my son, what can I help you with? I told him, it's like, this guy looked like he was so frustrated from a meeting that he just came out of. He's like, that is a great idea. I'm not going to tell you it's a bad one. But the Ministry of Education with the board that we have, they're not ready for that. So it kind of really disappointed me because I was like, there's so much potential that's being wasted. Education is good, but when you treat your child like they're ignorant and dumb just because they're not good at school, and you take away their passion. Oh, you can't go play soccer today. Why? Because you didn't do good in school.
Well, a lot of parents are like this, actually. Yeah. Majority of the parents are like this, and that has killed a lot of dreams.
A lot of dreams. Now look at where we're living now. How many educated people who finish university are working for Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi and Michael Jackson and all these musicians that we mentioned and the ones that we didn't mention? Most wealthy people didn't go to school or didn't educate themselves. It's their gift and talent that
and streets. Streets. Most of the people are educated in streets. Yeah. Street education.
School can teach you theoretical stuff, but hustling, experiencing, following your passion and discovering yourself is going to give you your identity. Now, so I've been through it. I remember when I was, I think in my 20s, as soon as I graduated, I think around the same time I went to that ministry, I was in Abu Dhabi and my mother was nagging me, you need to come back. You need to come back. You need education. But I just finished graduation. So what am I coming back to? There was no proper plan of what education she was referring to. I understand why she said it, because the media and propaganda is directing people to be educated and study so you can be part of a bigger system.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know it back then, but I knew there was something wrong here. I don't want to be part of this system, waking up early morning and going to work, making somebody else rich. That was never my thing. I never got excited to them. Like, I go to school, wake up in the morning, learning a bunch of stuff that I don't like or don't feel like I need, okay? And then go to study and then go to work. And all my life, I'm just waking up in the morning, serving somebody else, one way or the other.
And that's actually destroyed a lot of people, but at the end, they still find themselves.
Because, see, you're dealing with a system that never sleeps. People wake up now to go to work in the next hour and the next and the next. Like every 24 hours a day, somebody's waking up to go to work because the system is in motion. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the system is in motion. Every minute, I think we have what, almost 9 billion people now in the world, 9 point something billion. Every second and every minute of the day, somebody's waking up, going to work. That's how the system is in motion. It's going to be very hard to change people's minds that this is not the way, because this is all they know. So for us, the only way as artists and talented people, you got to show them an alternative. It may start small and you're going to get resistance.
Yeah.
You know? I have another friend of mine, okay? We call him Tony, okay? He, you know, I don't know if he's going to hear this. Young guy, really talented in soccer. I just found out he used to play for American football. His mother did the same thing that my mom did to me. Leave alone your sports, you know, leave that sports and go and study and educate and work. You know, we still play together, but now you can only display your talent amongst your friends. And, you know, when you're very talented, you cannot help to be frustrated that this is all I can give with my talent, instead of the world seeing it. You watch TV, go like, I could have been that. I could have done better than that. You know, and sometimes that's what creates issues between parents and their children. You ruined my life. Some parents feel like that. Yeah. I mean, so some children feel like that.
A lot of children feel like that.
Yeah, you killed my dreams.
A lot of, I mean, a lot of kids, a lot of people have this experience, and it's true, 100% true. And it's not like the parents don't want us to do this, but
they just don't know better.
They don't see, you know.
They don't know better.
Yes. But parents don't take to correction. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's another issue.
And they never say sorry. Never. Even when they are wrong, they never say sorry.
Yeah. Back to your initial question about relationships, because relationships come, you know, they come from parents, siblings, and partners. You know, some people go like, oh, you didn't love me. If you loved me, you would have loved me. No, they loved you, but they loved you their way. And sometimes people don't know how to love, given their traumas and everything. Now, when you love someone to the point of control and possessing them, it becomes very toxic. And this is a lot of partner and parent type of love given to the children or their partners. When you love an individual, you love them to the point of you want to dress them up, how they think, where to work, who to talk to, how to talk to them, who to communicate, when to go out, when to come back in. That kills.
That's control.
Yeah. And that also kills what? Your creativity. Kill your creativity, you'll never discover yourself. Because you're not being given the freedom of exploring yourself. For me, marriage is a partnership, not an ownership. A lot of people treat marriages as ownerships. Parenthood is guidance, not ownership. Oh, that's my son. I can do what I know. No, you had the privilege of bringing life into this world. They are not supposed to correct your mistakes or live your life. They're supposed to make your legacy better.
Yes.
If you raise them right, you will be part of that legacy. If you raise them wrong, your legacy will end without even existing. Like if I had, let's look at it, if I had bad memories of my parents, would I praise them and thank them when I'm successful?
No.
Why would I?
You wouldn't even want to be close to them.
Even if I love them. But I wouldn't say, because I don't have any memories of them supporting what I did. Or what a lot of people like to sugarcoat things. Oh, if it wasn't for that toughness, I'm like, no. Some things you just don't need to go through.
Yes.
There's some things that parents put their children through that was unnecessary. And
they never forget.
Yeah.
No matter what they do, parents, I think a lot of parents need to do better. The words that comes out of our mouths has a very big impact in us. And most parents just think I can say whatever I want, I can do whatever I want. But at the end of the day, what impact has this left on this child? Because they grow with this, and at the end of the day, it keeps rotating. Yeah. And if this child is not strong enough to overcome this pain and whatever pressure they've been through, then it's gonna be a cycle. They need to break it.
Somebody needs to break it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the thing, you know, not everybody's strong enough to break the cycle, because a lot of people like to keep what they've learned and be consistent in that, and thinking, oh, just because it was like that, it must be this way.
You need to be stubborn to break it sometimes, you know.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Stubbornness is not looked at as a good thing in the majority of the world. You're stubborn is looked at as a negative thing. But here's the thing. If you're stubborn, it means you don't give up easily. It means you stand for what you believe in.
Yeah.
You know? But people make it look like stubbornness is a bad thing. You think all these legends, if they were not stubborn, they would have been the legends that they are?
Mm-mm.
Do you think that when they attempted to kill all these prophets in the past, if they just gave up from the first attempt of trying to be killed, they would have been who they are today?
Never.
They had to be stubborn. People like to paint this beautiful picture of how they were always soft-spoken. They were like this perfect individual. No, they weren't. There were people that had to go through exactly the struggles that we had to go through, and they overcame them to become the wise men that they were.
Yeah.
You know? Nobody ever got it easy and became what they are. You know? You had to go through certain things to become that. You know? And the followers, they're the ones that mess up their teachings. What happens? If I'm a spiritual leader, because for me, that is also a form of art. Not everybody's born to have some spiritual abilities or spiritual visions and experiences. Okay? If I pass away and I had a certain type of teaching, and somebody non-spiritual who just followed me and probably followed me with all their heart and sincerity, but they don't have the spiritual element, how are they going to teach and continue where I left off?
They're just going to continue the same thing that you're doing.
Yeah, they will not improve it. People say, oh, it's not their path to improve it, but you need to understand it. You need to understand spirituality in order to be a spiritual leader. Always put people in the right places. Back to the original topic we had, leadership. Put people in the right places. Spiritual people should be here. Artist people should be here. It's always good, but if we mix roles, you put a swimmer to train drivers, and a driver to train architects, and architects to train people in math, and you know, it becomes chaotic, and then you lose the talent and the natural gifts that people have. And once you lose that, then you know there's just going to be a bunch of confused people in the world, and unhappiness happening. You know, everybody's going to be unhappy because their spirit is not happy. I'm not doing what I'm here to do. And if your spirit is not happy, no matter what you do, you're never going to be happy.
Yeah.
Because your spirit, your inner self is not, you know, it's not really experiencing anything. Yeah. And so we're done.
Yeah. So this is such an amazing section with Mr. Hassan, and I am looking forward to having you more again in this section, because we would not even stop talking, because the conversation is deep talk, real talk. And I hope you guys enjoy this section. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you need to probably get to know Mr. Hassan, his Instagram is going to be in the description. And I'm going to see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.